Take 4 computer geeks, throw in a passion for water conservation and a touch of innovation, and what do you get? For 4 Melbourne lads, the result was an international award and a multi-million-dollar career opportunity.
And to hear how they did, 2 of the 4 young inventors, David Borella and Edward Hooper, join us now.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Hey guys.
What is the Imagine Cup?
Sure. The Imagine Cup is a worldwide competition that Microsoft runs each year. Each year they have a different theme. The theme for this year was imagine a world where technology enables a sustainable environment. So that's the only quote that they gave us.
Right.
So from there they run regional competitions. So they had the Australian finals a few months back, so we won that, and so we progressed to the worldwide finals in Paris. And so one team from each country around the world went to Paris, so we were competing against 60 other teams.
60 other countries?
There's 70 other countries in the whole competition because there are other categories, but yeah, so we're competing directly against 60 other teams.
So, and everyone competing, you're all students, is that right?
Yes.
Yep.
What was your answer to this? What was your passion? How did you solve this problem?
As in, sorry, the soak system?
What did you come up with your technology that's going to enhance the environment? Where did you look?
Oh, sure. Well, we started approaching this from, we looked at Australia and tried to see what the key issues were. So we saw the key issues were energy, oil and water. And so water seemed to be a really big thing with water restrictions around Australia. So we started looking at where we could have the most impact. And so it was either between agriculture or households. Households, we were surprised, was only 14% of the entire water usage in Australia, whereas agriculture was 66%. And so we decided if we went for agriculture, we got, say, 10% penetration. 10% penetration out of 66% is kind of realistic. Yeah.
Whereas half the water use in Australia for residential.
Yeah, whereas if we try to go for residential, trying to get 10% penetration in households is quite difficult. So we approach it from that way.
And also, I mean, I didn't realise this until I read some of the research that you found, that Australia is the driest continent in the world because we have the least amount of rainfall, which is amazing. I mean, were you amazed by some of this research that you did find out when you were looking into it?
Yeah, I'd know it because none of us came from a farming background, so we were quite shocked. So that's sort of part of the reason we really sort of drove ourselves to really sort of be able to make a difference, because lots of farmers are doing it tough, and technology is one answer to make it better for them.
So, okay, so you decided that agriculture was the sector you wanted to look at, and farmers. What is it? What does this system of yours overcome? What problems does it overcome for farmers?
All right, so basically we went to a lot of farms, went to look around, and we found that lots of tasks are just done manually. So one of the farms we went to on the peninsula, the farm has to go down, and if they want...
Mornington Peninsula?
Just outside Mount Eliza, we visited a place called Morningstar Estate. So basically the head farmer there, if he wanted to water one of the fields, he'd have to go down and turn on a timer system. And basically if he was sick, his whole operation, you know, it wouldn't be able to happen. That would damage all their crops. So we've sort of made this automated system. It comes up on a computer and a web page. The farmer can just log in anywhere in the world and they can see a visual sort of bird's eye view of their farm. All the different fields are there, all the water sources there, and the system waters for you, does it all for you, and they just have to look at the information and make the key farming decisions.
So this can happen, the farmer can regulate this from anywhere in the world?
Yep.
How does what information does it take in to know what needs watering?
Sure. Well, we do this through a few different mechanisms. One is the sensor that we've got here. So with that, we consulted with an engineer, and just over a matter of 4 weeks, he built this prototype for us. So it's got it's solar-powered, rechargeable battery, so it's all environmentally sound.
This is it. This is what we're talking about now.
Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
That.
So you'd set these sensors up in the
out
fields?
in the field. Yep.
Okay.
And so they've got GPS in them. They've got moisture sensors, temperature sensors. So all of this information is being gathered by the system, by the sensors, and it's being sent back to the farm. And so then the farmer can look on the web page, and because each of these sensors have GPS in it, he can see on the field all the readings around the farm visually, like on an aerial photograph of his farm. So all that information is being brought in, and then the system looks at things like weather forecasts. So if rain is predicted in the next 1 or 2 days, it doesn't water, as it can save the farmer a bit more water there.
And you said also it can measure the moisture content of the soil. So how does it do that? Obviously something goes into the soil.
The moisture sensor goes deep into the ground. It's not connected to that one, but yeah, it would be at the bottom. So basically it'll do stuff like, all right, the system, we've sort of put in all the different information about plants. So the place we visited, Morningstar, they've got wine. when they're watering their grapes, at the start they want to give them lots of water so the grapes get really nice and big and strong. Then once they're fully grown, they want to ease off the water so the sugar content rises, so it's really good for making wine. So basically our system takes all that sort of stuff into consideration, and it'll do stuff like, okay, it's at that first stage, it needs lots of water, but the system says it's going to rain in 2 hours, so let's wait then. So it rains, then the system says, okay, according to our rain gauge, we only got 30% of the water we were expecting in that rainfall, so let's make up the difference now. Actually,
Wow.
let's wait an hour and make up the difference at night when there's going to be no evaporation. Just stuff like that.
So you could individually design the program for each farm and their requirements.
Does it have further application? I mean, could you possibly use this something like this to monitor? I don't know. I'm thinking off the top of my head now. Stock control or something like that.
Absolutely. So when we started building this system, we were thinking about all these other applications for it. But for the competition, we just went for one key message, which was water sustainability. But we've built it to be a sustainable farming package. So we're already thinking for things like supply chain management even. So once a farmer has taken his oranges and is going on the way to the farm, they can track things like that, or soil erosion, crop rotation, things like that. So other things, and livestock. So things that help the farmer just do what he does.
Yeah.
How long did it actually take you to put this software together? Because, I mean, I was overwhelmed just reading about it. And you guys, you're in your young 20s, you're still studying. Where did you start and how long did it take you with the actual software?
Okay, we spent probably like 2 months just sort of looking at farms and gathering requirements. Then we spent about 3.5 months actually making the software. And then we went to France and presented just a few weeks ago.
You say it like it wasn't even hard. Like it just wasn't even difficult.
Is it? I mean, is it? This is obviously the area that you guys work in. Is it a difficult system, or is it just the brains behind the idea in the first place?
Trying to sort of make something that farmers could really use, and also making something that was really cheap so everyone could use it. It was hard to sort of maintain those things, but we managed to do it. So because of that localised aspect, so when a farmer views it, they actually get a bird's eye view of their farm. So we found that local touch and clear functions, not overwhelming the farmer. Yeah. We found the feedback we got from farmers was just fantastic.
Yeah. Have you got is there a prototype in operation at the moment?
We're looking at doing some field tests. There's been lots of offers coming in. We've sort of finished the software end, and we just need to sort of do some more sensor work and then get it out there.
I bet. I mean, you said that there are offers coming in. The reaction to you winning this prize must be extraordinary. I mean, what is the next step now?
Sure. Well, we're taking the system and we're cleaning it up. There are just a few final things we need to do until we can deploy it. So things like the sensor that we brought into the studio today. It's good as a demonstration, but we just need to ruggedise it a bit more, so then we can put it out into the field, and then when cows stomp on it, it doesn't break, which is actually a big concern we found out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, when you went to the final, you took this along, you went to Paris, you were there for... Judging was over a couple of days. What actually happens?
Sure. There was actually 3 different rounds, and so all of the 60 teams go into the first round.
So these are all the regional winners are over there?
Yes.
Yep.
So all the countries, so Australia, Paris, France, China, etc. And so from there, they just chose 12 final teams for the second round. And so then from that, they chose 6 finalists for the grand final. And so those 6 teams, we all went to the Louvre and we presented in the Louvre in front of 1,400 people.
Fantastic.
Wow. What were some of the other countries doing that impressed you? I mean, there was one that I read about, the Irish car run solely on vegetable oil or something like that.
Yeah, that was really cool. So these guys got a car and they converted it to vegetable oil, and they drove it all the way from Ireland to Paris. And
just on vegetable oil?
Yep, and they had a full video, and that was a really incredible project. Those guys really pushed limits.
What were some of the others? Were any others that impressed you?
Yeah, the one that I really liked was the one from China. So they built this system where they created these little... It's for electricity usage. So between the appliance and the actual wall socket, they built this little gadget. And so it would sit there and monitor how much electricity is being used, and it would wirelessly send that information back, and all of that would be recorded so they could see how much power usage each one of their individual appliances is using. They had websites and things like that, so like real-time live monitoring of each of their appliances.
We're getting to a world whereby we're governed by one computer, aren't we?
No.
A few,
Really don't see it that way.
It sounds like that, doesn't it? Why do you think that you won this competition?
I guess one of the big things was a lot of the teams like that China one, they were sort of targeting governments to sort of convince people to sort of take that up. Ours was something that sort of, it was almost ready to use. It was something that everyone could use. It was scalable, so you could have it on a really small farm, or if you're a big corporation, you can have it on farms all over the world. You could still control it all from one spot. And it was just such a good thing. Like, you know, there were known results from our system, and farmers in Australia are doing it tough, and the water problem and just farming in general is becoming huge.